Give me a few minutes of your attention, because what I'm about to say might shake something inside you. Not in a loud, dramatic way, but quietly, deeply, in the place where you've been hiding from yourself. You've probably been told that you're weak, or maybe you never heard it directly, but you've felt it. In the hesitation before speaking, in the fear of judgment, in the way you hold yourself back, even when you know you shouldn't. But what if I told you that what you call weakness isn't actually weakness at all? It's something you've been taught, something you've repeated so often it became your identity. And today we're going to break that illusion. Listen carefully, because this is not about motivation. This is not about feel-good advice or temporary inspiration. This is about facing something uncomfortable, something real. Think about it. What does it actually mean to be weak? Most people think it's about being emotional, or not being strong enough, or lacking discipline. But the truth is deeper than that. Weakness is when you betray yourself, when you silence your truth just to fit in, when you need approval before you take action, when you choose comfort over honesty. That is weakness. And the harsh truth? The world around you is designed to keep you in that state. Your environment rewards you for staying small. It praises you when you are agreeable, when you don't challenge anything, when you stay quiet. Because a person who questions, who stands firm, who refuses to shrink, is harder to control. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once spoke about this idea, that individuals must struggle to avoid being swallowed by the crowd. And that struggle isn't physical, it's internal. It's the fight to remain true to yourself in a world that constantly tries to reshape you. So let me ask you something honestly. Who are you when you stop trying to be liked? Not the version of you that's polite, filtered and careful, but the real version. The one that doesn't apologize for existing. The one that doesn't hesitate before speaking truth. The one that isn't afraid to walk away from what doesn't align. Most people can't answer that, because they've spent their entire lives reacting instead of choosing. They've built identities based on approval, not authenticity. And that's where the frustration comes from, that quiet feeling inside you, that something isn't right, that you're holding back, that you're living smaller than you're meant to. That's not burnout, that's not stress, that's the cost of ignoring who you really are. Now pause for a second, and if you're still watching, if something here is resonating with you, take one small action. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, not for me, but as a signal to yourself. A decision that you're ready to grow, ready to face the uncomfortable, ready to change. Because what comes next matters. Let's go deeper. Your habits. They reveal everything. Not the big moments, but the small daily choices. The way you start your morning, the way you speak, the way you respond to pressure. You wake up, and the first thing you do is reach for your phone. You scroll, you compare, you consume, and before you even realize it, your energy is already gone. Not because the phone is the problem, but because you didn't choose your morning. You reacted to it. Real strength begins when you take control of those small moments, when you decide how your day starts, when you act before you consume. And then there's your voice. Pay attention to how you speak. Do you soften your opinions so others won't feel uncomfortable? Do you say maybe when you mean no? Do you apologize for things that don't require an apology? Every time you do that, you're giving away a piece of your power. Clarity is strength. When you speak clearly, people listen differently. When you stop over-explaining, your words carry weight. And yes, some people might not like it. But that's the point. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here to be real. Now let's talk about emotions, because this is where people get confused. Strength is not about suppressing what you feel. It's not about being cold or detached. Real strength is control. It's feeling everything, but choosing how you respond. When something challenges you, you don't explode. You don't panic. You pause. You observe. And then you act with intention. That level of control, that's power. Weakness is reacting without awareness. Strength is responding with purpose. And then there's something even deeper, something most people avoid completely: victimhood. It's easy to blame your past, your circumstances, your experiences. And yes, those things matter. They shape you, but they don't define you unless you let them. The moment you build your identity around what happened to you, you trap yourself. You stay stuck. But the moment you decide, this will not define me, everything changes. Your pain becomes fuel. Your struggles become lessons. Your story becomes something you control. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember what you went through. They remember what you became. So ask yourself, what are you becoming? And now, one of the hardest truths. You've spent most of your life trying to belong, trying to fit in, trying to be accepted. But belonging often comes at a cost. You shrink your voice. You hide your edges. You become more acceptable, but less authentic. And maybe it's time to choose differently. Maybe it's time to be okay with standing alone, to build your own path instead of following someone else's. Because the strongest people, they don't wait for a seat at the table. They build their own. And yes, it's uncomfortable. It's lonely at times. But it's real. Now think about this. Why do you procrastinate? Why do you hold yourself back? It's not laziness. It's fear. Fear of being seen. Fear of outgrowing people. Fear of stepping into a version of yourself that feels unfamiliar. So you delay. You distract yourself. You stay where it's safe. But growth doesn't live in safety. It lives in discomfort. It lives in the moments where you act despite the fear. So here's what you do. You stop waiting. You stop overthinking. You take action, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect. Because action builds confidence, not the other way around. And as we come to the end of this, I want you to really feel this. You don't need to become someone new. You don't need to fix yourself. The version of you that is strong, clear, confident, already exists. It's just been buried, covered by doubt, by conditioning, by years of trying to fit into something you were never meant to be. And now, it's time to uncover it. No more excuses, no more delays, no more pretending you don't know what you need to do. You know. You've always known. So the only question left is, will you act on it? Or will you go back to comfort and forget everything you just felt? Because this moment, right now, this is where change begins.